As we know, the show is a quick 15 uncensored. That means I'm going to bring to you a topic. We're going to discuss it. 15 minutes. And it's uncensored. That means whatever I've been getting information throughout the week, the days, the month. And it is something that's been touching me because you have been presenting it to me. And it's like, hey, the Lord's like, talk about it because they want to know about it. Guess what? It's uncensored. We're going to talk about it. Yes, we will. I want to show you my eyes. My wife always say, let them see your eyes. I had a new pair of glasses coming. Don't worry, you'll see my eyes more. I would have had my contacts in, but I didn't have time. So I'm going to take them off every now and then. But I got to see too. You understand me? I got to see. But I'm going to start my show. 15 minutes. The clock is counting. So, the topic today. I had this come in. Does it take all that? Now, that could be a question. Does it take all that? That could be a sounding funny to somebody in church. Does it take all that? Or somebody that really wants to know when it comes down to trying to understand the relationship and trying to achieve something when it comes to the whole quote unquote church experience. Does it take all that? Well, I think it's a good question because you hear it all the time. If you haven't, you will. I guarantee you that. And for those that seem like they just in church praising, let me tell you, people talking, either wondering, does it take all that? Because they're not really sure why you're praising the way you are. And then some really just don't think it takes all that, even though they're asking. So I guess the question is, what are you trying to get out of it? That's basically what it comes to. What are you trying to get out of your experience of the whole church experience? What are you trying to obtain? What is your level? Where are you trying to reach? What is this? What are you trying to reach? What is Elder J? What are you saying? Okay, let me break it down to you like this. If you are a lawyer or a doctor, or that's what you wanted to be, you went to school, undergrad, well, you know that's not where it stops because you can't be a lawyer or a doctor just going to undergrad. You would have to keep going. Okay, so you took the test to get into the post-studies, law school, medical school. Now you do that, but just because you go there and do the work, it does not necessarily mean you're going to be a great lawyer or a great doctor. There are some horrible, do you hear me? Horrible doctors and lawyers out there that went to school, but they're horrible. Why is that? It was about what did they put in it when they were there? How much work did they really put in it? You're not getting it because you're not trying to be a lawyer or doctor. Sports. It's a whole bunch of people to play sports. Our kids play sports. We've had kids that play sports of our own. Now, we know, I'm uncensored, right? We've had kids. We know, I love you, baby, but we know good and well when we see them, they ain't going to no NBA. They're my kids. They ain't going to no NFL. Why? Because they didn't have, not what it took. They didn't have the drive to do the work. They didn't want to practice. They didn't want to practice when there was no practice. We would say, hey, You better start shooting them free throws. You better do this. No, they wanted to play. They wanted to do this. They wanted to do that. And we knew there was a kid there that was scoring all them touchdowns and doing all of this and doing all that. And how did he get that way? Well, when you was playing, he was working or she was working. You see what I'm saying? They was putting the work in because they wanted more. They wanted to be the best. They wanted to really get something out of the experience. So when we say, does it take all that when we're talking about church, what are you trying to get out of it? I'm breaking that down on a very plain as can be level. But still, I told you that I would always come and be direct on, but does God say something about it? Well, actually, he does. What? Yes, he does. Yes, he does. Now, see, praising is a little different than worshiping. Because when you worship God, you are surrendering. You are giving all that you have in spite of your circumstance. Because you know what he is capable of doing. Maybe he has already done it, but for the most part, you're just giving all that you got, surrendering because you know who your Father is, who God is to you. This is about your relationship. You know what he is to you. You know what you need. You know what you're dealing with. You know what you need to obtain. You know where you need to go. And you may not be anywhere near that. However, you worship him anyway. It is about how you worship to move past the natural that you walk in. That's a whole different level. Because we go to church, when we walk in those doors, we carrying stuff with us. We are all in our flesh. It's about putting down your flesh, that natural, that mess, that relationship, that stuff that's getting on your nerves, the job, the worry, the fear, the grief, the anger. And tapping into the spirit that he created in you. What do I mean? John 4. John 4, 23. I'm going to read 23 and 24 and I'll put it in perspective. It said, this is King James, and I'll give you an amplified version or a message version so you can even get in clear. But King James said, but the hour cometh, and now is, when the true worshipers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. Because God is a spirit. And they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. That sounded like a mouthful, didn't it? I know it did. Sounded like a mouthful. But God is telling you, this is Jesus, matter of fact, giving directions. He was at the well, and the woman at the well, if you want to go and just get the perspective of what's going on, he is letting her know there is a transition of how worship is going to be expected from God at this point, because he knows he is about to be the sacrifice. And worship is now about to be a total different experience of what is expected by God. And there's an elevation that needs to come from it. And I don't know about you, but for you to worship him in spirit and in truth. For me, it takes all that. Because I'm going to tell you, transparency, uncensored, right? Elder J. I used to be in church and would worship and praise, lifting my hands, and would be moved because of the tempo of a song. And that is not worship. I might as well be in the club and had the DJ play on my slow jam. Because I'm still in the flesh if the tempo is what's moving me. Do you hear me on that? See, it doesn't matter how fast or slow the song is going. If you can focus and tap into your spirit, man, and begin to worship and praise spirit, man, to spirit. God is a spirit. The experience that you will begin to have in that worship will be total surrender and in truth, knowing no matter what it is I'm going through, no matter what it is I'm feeling, no matter what persecution I'm dealing with, I know my God has it already prepared for me. I am hungry as all get out. I'm starving. But I know there's food already being prepared for me in the kitchen. So I have no fear. So I do whatever it is I have to do to slay my flesh so I can get into my spirit. So I'm going to tell you, it takes whatever it takes. And that's on your own maturity. It takes whatever it takes on your own maturity. But what's required is for you to get in your spirit so you can worship him in spirit, spirit to spirit. So don't judge whoever in church of how they worship or how deep or how loud or how long. Because if you're paying attention to them, I guarantee you, you're already in the flesh. You already have lost. You already are not going anywhere. Your free throw already has rolled and popped out the rim. I don't know about you, but I'm about hitting nothing but nets. And for me to swish nets, I must keep practicing. I must keep practicing. My form must be right. So does it take all that? I guess the question comes to, what are you trying to get out of it? When you go to church, why are you going? Why are you there? Why are you there? Is it out of obligation? Is it tradition? Is it so you can say, I went, so you can feel good, so you can look good to others, so you can look like the cream of the crop to the others that aren't going, so you can say, hey, and feel like you're on a pedestal and look down to the ones that aren't going? Is that why you go? Or do you go because you know I need to die to my flesh daily? And it ain't about the building. You are the church. Understand that. The reason it is good that you go to the quote unquote church is because to be in a place with like-minded believers is always helpful. But you're going to have fools in the church too. But don't let that dissuade you, and don't let ones that are talking about the church and will talk and point that out dissuade you from going, because guess what? They weren't trying to go there anyway. So it didn't matter if church was perfect, which is not. If it was perfect, they would still try to find something to dissuade you from going in the first place. So the whole thing is about empowering and strengthening your relationship. That's what this show is about. This ain't a debate show. It's about encouraging and strengthening you as a Christian. So that's my quick 15 uncensored. You heard the alarm. That's my 15. That's it. 15. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to me, Elder J. Chris, on Straight Talk 24/7 with Elder J. Chris. Make sure you share the page with people, and make sure you let them know the show is a quick 15. Uncensored. Let them know I'm not trying to take up your time. I'm trying to put some nuggets in your time. Amen. Amen. I will see you next Thursday. And don't forget, if you got something on your mind, something you want me to talk about, drop it in my box. And you never know. It might be something you want to watch. God bless you. See you next Thursday. And check out the preview. I'll always, or the rewind. I'll always hit a rewind here within the next day. Maybe the next couple hours. You never know. Share it. Love y'all. Continuously praying for you. God bless you.